Haunted apartment friends, today I have brought for you a very scary story, after watching which you will fall asleep in the middle of the night. Hold your heart. It was the summer of 2012 when I moved into my first apartment. Fresh out of college, I was excited to start my new job and live independently. The apartment was small but cozy, located in an old building on the outskirts of town. The rent was cheap, which was a huge plus for someone just starting out. The landlord, an elderly man with a kind smile, assured me the place had character. Little did I know, that character would soon turn into a nightmare. The first few weeks were uneventful. I spent my days settling into my new routine and my nights exploring the city. But then, things started to get strange. It began with the sounds. Late at night, when the world outside was silent, I would hear faint whispers coming from the walls. At first, I dismissed it as my imagination or the wind. But the whispers grew louder, more distinct, as if someone was trying to communicate with me. One night, I decided to investigate. I pressed my ear against the wall, trying to make out the words. The whispers were soft but clear, repeating the same phrase over and over: "Get out." My heart raced, and I pulled away, telling myself it was just my mind playing tricks on me. But the whispers didn't stop. Night after night, they continued, growing more urgent, more desperate. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was the pipes or the old building settling. But deep down, I knew it wasn't that simple. The whispers felt alive, as if they were coming from something, or someone, that didn't belong in this world. Then came the dreams. They started innocently enough, just fragmented images of dark hallways and shadowy figures. But soon, they became more vivid, more terrifying. In one dream, I was standing in my living room, staring at the wall where the whispers seemed to originate. The wall began to crack, and a cold, black liquid oozed out, pooling on the floor. From the liquid emerged a figure, its face twisted in agony, reaching out to me. I woke up screaming, drenched in sweat. The dreams and the whispers began to take a toll on me. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. I was constantly on edge, jumping at every creak and groan of the old building. I tried to tell myself it was all in my head, but the fear was real, consuming me. One day, I decided to confront the landlord. I knocked on his door, and he greeted me with the same kind smile as before. I hesitated, not wanting to sound crazy, but I had to know. "Have you ever heard strange noises in the building?" I asked. His smile faltered for a moment, and he looked away. "This is an old building," he said. "It makes all sorts of noises. Nothing to worry about." But I could tell he was hiding something. His eyes darted around nervously, and his hands fidgeted. I pressed him further, and finally, he sighed. "Look," he said, "I didn't want to scare you, but the previous tenant, she disappeared. No one knows what happened to her. She just vanished one night, leaving all her belongings behind." My blood ran cold. "When was this?" I asked. "About a year ago," he replied. "The police investigated, but they never found anything. They said she probably just left, but I don't know. Something didn't feel right." I thanked him and left, my mind racing. Could the whispers and the dreams be connected to the missing tenant? I didn't want to believe it, but the pieces were starting to fit together. That night, the whispers were louder than ever. I tried to ignore them, burying my head under the pillow, but they persisted. Then, I heard something new, a faint knocking, coming from the wall. It was slow and deliberate, like someone was trying to get my attention. I sat up, my heart pounding, and stared at the wall. The knocking grew louder, more insistent. Against my better judgment, I approached the wall. The whispers were deafening now, a cacophony of voices all speaking at once. I pressed my ear against the wall, and that's when I felt it. A cold, wet sensation, as if the wall itself was alive. I pulled back in horror, but it was too late. The wall began to crack, just like in my dream, and the black liquid oozed out, spreading across the floor. I stumbled backward, tripping over my own feet. The liquid began to take shape, forming the same twisted figure from my dream. Its eyes were hollow, its mouth stretched in a silent scream. It reached out to me, and I felt an icy grip on my arm, pulling me toward the wall. I fought with all my strength, but the figure was too strong. Just as I was about to be dragged into the wall, I heard a voice, a real, human voice, calling my name. It was my neighbor,